What's up, folks? Okay. All right, we do.
Said
So
you
we have
want
some
some
intro.
intro music.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We have intro music. Surprise, y'all. This is episode 43 of Shoe Booty Sports, the Troy Polamalu episode. Surprised I didn't come
Great
up with
hair.
that
Great
off the
hair.
top of my head last week. Well, because that one sticks out. But quick plug for our sponsor, Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. You can register for one or all of their races. They're on their website at rhinoraces.com. Also, check out their gear section. They have t-shirts, decals, wristbands, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Sign up today, and you can find Shoe Booty Sports on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, the Wisdom app. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and find us on Twitter at Shoe Booty Sports. So Tom Brady took a leave of absence from training camp.
He's
And
on the Masked Singer.
Yes,
If you watch
probably
that.
probably one of the best rumors I've heard
Very
in
creative, yes.
recent memory. Where they got it, who knows? You know what who did he sign the massive 300 and what $75 million deal with? Wherever, is it Fox? I believe it's Fox.
Oh yeah, that's waiting on him. Man, I couldn't even tell you. I guess Fox.
Yeah, I believe it's Fox. So, which is what the Masked Singer is on. So that's why that got linked.
Do you watch the Masked Singer?
Never seen an episode. Never
Me
seen a
neither.
single episode. But
They dress up as like mascots, right?
yes, and you have to find out who's under it. And apparently, they think they throw out names like the biggest stars or celebrities or known people in the world, and it ends up being like Rudy Giuliani or something. And apparently, Jenny McCarthy really sells the shock every time that somebody is revealed. Again, I don't know. I've never seen the show, but you know that they're paying Brady way more than to just call football games. They're going to have him do extra stuff. So that's how that got put together. Still a very dumb but fun rumor that's been tossed out there. The most interesting part of, well, okay, and before all this came out, I saw on Yahoo, yes, I still have Yahoo email, that was trending number one was Tom Brady divorce. And so I was like, what? So I immediately clicked on that, and it was just clickbait essentially,
Yeah,
from what I
it's
could
like
tell.
gotta be clickbait.
Yeah, that although you think about it, the leave of absence, maybe he's going to work on his marriage or something. I don't know. I mean, nobody knows what it is, but
Thought
I'm
he said
not
he's
that.
on vacation.
Maybe I don't know. I haven't dove enough into it. It's
I
just
talked to
whatever
him
has
this
been.
morning, dang it. He said he's on vacation.
Yeah, well, whatever's been put out there, that's what I'm like, okay, is it? And then I look, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's definitely not that. So definitely not the Masked Singer, but although how disappointed, I would be both intrigued and disappointed if that's what it really was, if it was the Masked Singer. That's what he missed for. Like, so this is what it's going to be like for Tom post
Oh, dude,
retirement.
that would piss off his teammates, when you think. It's like, oh, this dude's supposed to be in training camp with us, and he's dance around in mascot uniform.
Maybe some, but it's Tom Brady, man. He
True.
can do what he wants.
He just
He,
like flashes his rings. He's like, y'all say something?
Dennis Rodman went and did stuff with the NWO
He
and
married himself.
WCW during like the NBA finals, right? Or
Yeah.
like leading up to it. Like went and did NWO stuff, and then mid-season that year, his last year in Chicago, took a Vegas hiatus. So, and they dealt with that. And this is Tom Brady. If he did do the Masked Singer, what are they going to do? I mean, that's not what it is, but it's Tom Brady. It's the goat. They, I heard somebody toss out that what if his like thing that he wore, it was a goat hat, like a goat, whatever. What
A
would you
hat.
call it? What would you even
A
call it?
hat.
I guess a hat. Yeah, but it covers the whole face. So, and it's called the Masked Singer, but it's not exactly a mask. Whatever the mascot wears, it would be a goat head. That would be appropriate for him. But the most interesting news that came out during this little Tom Brady vacation or hiatus or whatever we're calling it was Dana White's comments about him helping put a deal together to bring Tom Brady and Gronk to the Raiders. And it was essentially a done deal. And then at the last second, Gruden nixes the deal, just says he doesn't want to do it. And then, of course, people piece together what Brady said on the shop of Derek Carr, or what he said on the shop of a team was interested. And then at the last second, they weren't. And when it got word to him, he was like, they're sticking with that, MFer. So putting the pieces together, it's Derek Carr that they're talking about, whether not any he'll ever come out and say it, because some reporter that's worth anything is going to ask that
And
when he
everybody
does
thought
come
it was
back.
Jimmy G. So.
Yeah, everybody thought that. And turns out it's probably Derek Carr. And then Gronk was asked about this, and Gronk confirmed it. He confirmed that not the MFer thing,
Yeah.
but he confirmed the Raiders thing was true. And then it got nixed at the last second. Because he's calling stuff for UFC now during their fights, which that was quite an upset, by the way. Main event of that
Yeah,
fight the
we
other night.
wish I could have watched it live.
Yeah, well, I would have never picked the dude to win. Was it Leon
No.
Edwards? Was that his
Yeah,
name?
think so.
Yeah, and I believe the guy. I mean, I can't remember the guy's name, but wasn't he like the pound for pound guy?
Usman? Yeah.
Yeah, Usman. That's it.
Yeah,
I want.
he was scary. Scary
Yeah,
pound for pound.
I mean, I've seen some of his fights, just on YouTube after the fact. But I would have never thought to get it thinking that he would lose. But that's quite the upset. But anyway, Brady's going to get asked about this when he comes back, and be interesting to see how he deals with it. He'll deal with it well, I'm sure, but because it's Tom Brady. But what would the Raiders? I don't know what the Raiders would have looked like with Brady and Gronk instead of Carr and
That was,
company.
yeah. I mean, hell, they had AB. Maybe that's why AB initially joined the team, then threw the fit and got out of there and went to Tampa. He thought Tom was going to be there.
I didn't think about that. Perhaps. I don't know. That's yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, probably not the case, but
It's
interesting narrative to say the least.
it still would have ended weird, like poorly, just because
Oh,
that's
definitely.
because it
Yeah.
ended poorly at the next stop when he finally did and got a ring with Tom Brady, and it still ended poorly the following season. But a question was tossed out on the Dan Patrick show. I think it was yesterday. Who would you rather have, Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins? Because they were putting together like Carr's record as a starter, and I think he has a losing record as a starter. And they said, who would you rather have, Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins? I immediately said Derek Carr. I was wondering why it was even a debate. I guess because I've really just for one, I picked Kirk Cousins in fantasy a lot of years, and he's disappointed me
Yeah.
a lot of
Always disappointed.
always disappointed.
Until you bench him and he'll go off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but if you looked at Kirk Cousins' numbers, you would just say, man, that's a Pro Bowl quarterback. Like just looking at his numbers. But then you watch him live, and there's nothing special here. And he'll make like the right play a lot of the times, but he'll never do anything to wow you. And then he'll do some things that will do the
Well,
opposite of wow you in a
wow, you in
negative.
the wrong way. Yeah.
Yes. But who would you rather have off the top, just thinking about it, Carr or Cousins, if you had to start with if you had to get a quarterback out of those two?
Uh, man, I don't know. I think Cousins would piss me off more. So I'd probably have to roll with Carr.
Yeah, see, I said immediately like Derek Carr, and I was wondering why it was even a debate. But I was looking at their numbers, and these are their career statistics. Derek Carr, 65% completion percentage, 31,700 yards, 193 touchdowns to 85 picks, 92.4 rating. I don't get too into ratings, but that's what it is for him. Cousins, a 98.6 rating. Cousins is essentially better in everything else. Uh, he's got slightly more interceptions. He's got a 66.9% completion percentage, 32,593 yards, 223 touchdowns to 91 picks, and a 98.6 rating. So the numbers are very comparable. So it's a fair question. Which would you rather have of those two? You could argue, hey, it's a toss up. Like I'd just take either one, but I would still go with Derek Carr. I know that he just has more of the. He made a throw last year. I want to say it was in the playoffs. That was just an incredible throw, and it just that's one of those. Just yeah, that's an NFL quarterback. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. Carr will do that from time to time, and when it's close like that, and Cousins will too, from time to time. But I see it more from Carr. So when it's close like that, I'm going to go with the guy who can do something more special. It's like the MJ LeBron argument, like who's the GOAT? When it's close, who's the guy that you want to have the ball with 90 seconds left in the game? Game's on the line. Who do you want it? Who do you want to have the ball in the final minute 30? MJ. Like I
I
don't
was
even
gonna
think
be like, is
twice
that a
about it.
question?
Yeah. Like you don't even think twice about it.
No.
So when it's close, yeah, go with the guy that you want to have the ball in clutch time. And I'll go with Derek Carr for that for me. And I don't know how I'd say I don't know how clutch he's been, but that was a clutch throw, and Kirk Cousins hasn't done anything clutch.
I'm sure a number of Viking fans would agree with you that they would rather have Carr.
Yeah. Number of Vikings fans, Redskins fans. Excuse me. Well, no, it was Redskins then,
Yeah.
but
That's where you got.
Commanders now.
You like that?
Yeah. I did like that.
I think
I
everybody
did like
liked that.
that.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of that.
Yep.
Like I do like that about Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins.
he rocked out that game. But
Yes. I will take post post game rant Kirk Cousins. If I'm going post game rant, I'm going Kirk Cousins over Derek Carr 11 out of 10 times. So I'll give him that. So we're both going with Derek Carr, basically.
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll jump to baseball. Albert Pujols of my St. Louis Cardinals, rocking the baby blues lately, by the way, at the unis. God, I love those unis. Is there a better
Yeah.
uniform than the Cardinals baby blues when they're wearing that? I don't think there's a better uniform in all of sports. Can you name one?
No, I'm pretty biased. So
Yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful uni, especially with when Yachty's got the matching catcher's gear with it. Dude, that is clean. That is all sorts of clean. I don't think there's a better uniform in sports. I really like the Chicago Blackhawks jerseys. Like they're up there. They're definitely like a top 5 as far as their jerseys go. But
yeah.
nothing beats the Cardinals baby blues for sure. Anyway, Albert hit 2 bombs the other night, same game over the weekend, I think. And yeah, so he is currently sitting at 693 home runs, 693.
Yeah, he hit one
So
last night too, right?
yeah, that's where that's where
That
the
was a high
93 came from,
fastball. Yeah.
because it was 692 because I had written that down, then I double checked the stats and I was like, oh, where did that one come from? So I missed that. So I'm guessing that was last night. But he has
Yeah.
said no matter what, he is done after this season.
I hope he gets a 700.
Dude, he's been on a tear.
I
Like
know.
I would
We
say
knew it'd be
no
close.
chance. Yeah, I'd say no chance. But
He's already surpassed our number that we said.
what did we say? I don't even
I don't know,
remember.
but I don't think we got above 93. I think we might have been at like 95 or something, but
I don't think I was that high. May I think the question was like, will he pass A Rod, who was 696? It was something like that. I don't know. That's been a bit ago. But we're not even in September yet. But I mean, season's essentially over once we
yeah.
get to October. So 7 more. Can he hit 7 more? 7 more between now and then? Yeah, I don't know. But he has been on a tear lately. But how much would I don't know? How kind of weird would it be I don't know. It's not going to be hard for him to walk away, but having
No,
like 698 or sitting at 699, it's a little different for home
dude.
runs
Yeah,
because you're
a little
not passing
different, but
anybody.
I hope if he gets once he gets to like 698, man, they better be throwing him some meat late in the games. Just if the game's at hand, just throw him a fastball. Let him
Do
sit
you
on it.
want that though if you're him? Do you want it that way? It's like when it's like the King of the Hill episode when Ricky whatever, I think it was Ricky, ties Bill Dotrieve's touchdown record and then breaks his
Oh yeah.
leg and then they like give him the ball and like let him limp his way in the end zone. And it's like, do you really want it like that? I wouldn't want it like that. I'd want you to challenge me. But it's not like he's sitting on like 2,999 hits, because 3,000 is that special number. Albert's already there. He's already
Hmm.
passed that. And home runs, really 500 is the magic number. Like if you hit 500 home runs, that's elite company. But he's approaching 600. So I could totally see how he's like, "Nah, I'm good." And I looked at his stats and the first whatever 18 years of his career or whatever, it was 100 plus hits, anywhere between like 23 and, you know, 40 homers or whatever it was and 100 RBI always. And then there was that 4-year stretch before this season. It might have been or 3-year stretch where it's just numbers have dropped tremendously, dealing with all he's dealt with, injury and everything. Of course, he's old now. This is what his 22nd season, I think it is. So yeah, he's been around a while. I think what 2001 was his rookie year, which he just came in and immediately
Man.
went on a tear.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's been playing for a while, and but yeah, sitting at like 698 would be. I don't even know if you'd think twice about. Could I eke
You
out like
wouldn't.
one more year? No, you wouldn't.
No, you. Yeah, he's fine if he doesn't hit another one. But
Yeah. Locally here, the Cabot High School football coach that was there for years, Mike Malham. I remember him saying no matter what, because he was like so close to like 300 wins. He had said all year he's like, no matter what, this is my last year, and he got to 300. Like he ended his career exactly at 300. So that would have been interesting, just walking out with 299 or whatever. But when you've been doing it for that long, yeah, I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna do another season just to squeak out one more.
no.
So I get it. I haven't even checked the standings. I assume the Cards are still in first place, but the Yankees have had quite the
Quite the
flop,
cliff
man.
dive.
Yes, I mean it just they were the best team in baseball all year, at least record wise, and then man, they have just fallen off the cliff, like you said. I mean, it's just gone bad ever since they traded Joey Gallo. It's just been to the Dodgers, right? Yeah, he's been lighting it up for them, and Gallo like struck out like every other at bat for the Yankees, so I can understand the trade. But looking at it now, man, that's not aging well.
Speaking of the Yankees, did you see the fan use the hot dog for a straw, drinking his beer?
I did see that. Can't believe I didn't write that down. I saw it today too.
Wow. Wow. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that
no,
was
I'm out. Like, I'm,
yeah,
man.
I didn't know whether or not to throw up or applaud, you know. There's nothing I would have done.
He made sure he got all that straws worth the hot dog, though. He wasn't wasting any of the hot dog.
Oh yeah, that was weird. That was so
And
weird,
then what
man.
you gonna do? Eat a cold hot dog afterwards?
I guess. I mean, it's one thing to take your candy straw, whatever you called them, the little sour straw things,
Oh yeah,
and put it in your
you get
drink.
all
It's one
cracked
thing
out
to
on sugar.
yeah, it's one thing to do that. But man, a hot dog
A
and it
hot
wasn't
dog.
some little bitty thin hot dog. It was a big old thick
No,
Frank that he poked a hole in with the straw and just sat it right in his beer. And oh man, I don't even want to think about what that would taste like.
no.
That's nasty, man. But hey, it made for a fun video. So jumping to football now. So I finished episode 2. It's a two part documentary of the Manti Te'o, Hoke's girlfriend. The girlfriend who didn't exist, I believe, is the title of it. The girlfriend who didn't exist. And you come because obviously we know all about it, and everybody that's kept up with sports within the last 10 years, give or 10, 11 years, knows what we're talking about. So we don't have to go all over that. But it was on the surface, if you don't know anything about it, you think the guy's just a big idiot, right? You just think, man, this is like, how dumb could you be? And he was still being an idiot. Like he no matter what, he could have prevented it just by using his head, right?
Yeah.
And catfishing was not like a common thing
No.
at that point in time. It wasn't common. Like he even says in the doc, like he never heard the term catfish until his uncle said, "I think you're being catfished," and he was like, "What?" Like he had no idea what that was. But like watching the documentary, man, it was an elaborate like hoax, like the Notre Dame AD or director or whatever. Yeah, I think he was the AD. Like said in that press conference, man, it was it was wild, man. And you kind of learn more about it, but it like there's a point like I did not know or remember this like when she faked her death or whatever. And I mean, the guy would get on the phone. It was a guy doing it all. He sounded just like a girl. Like he sounded just like a chick. So I could see how he would fall for it. But again, if you're never seeing her, if you're never coming into like contact with them, how can you have any kind of relationship? Like if the girl won't go out with me in 2 weeks, I've moved on already through an
Yeah.
online dating thing. I've already moved on. It's like, okay, you're clearly too busy. And I'm a really busy dude. And yeah, still, you got to have that face to face physical interaction. So I would have been done a long time ago, way before he ever was. But the part that just kind of tripped me out, she faked her death, right? And then later on, I guess decided that she wanted to keep this going. And so she calls him back and says, "Listen to my voice. It's me. It's me." And said that she had to go into like fake her death and go into hiding and all this. And it was so he's like, I don't know what to believe. And he's like, well, and then he finally showed a little bit of intelligence here and goes, all right, well, you're going to have to do this. And he wanted a picture of her of today's date, her holding up today's date or, the date, whatever day it was with, I think certain initials or some kind of lettering. And he wanted her to give like this sign and, looking at the camera and he got the photo. And that's what true. And it wasn't even Photoshop. It was not Photoshop. He got the photo. And two people that he knew that he was close, like that he knew, confirmed that she was real. At least the person in the photo was real, but that he thought was named Lene. So like it was a very elaborate thing. And what had happened was the guy playing Lene is the girl's name. He had turned out he had messaged this girl, the actual girl, like he knew who she was, and he came up with some crazy wild thing like this guy is sick and he's wanting kind of some praise and just like write down this info and then hold it up and then just give this sign. And she did it. She did it for him.
Wow.
And that's how he got the photo of that. So it was a very elaborate thing. Like, dude, pathological liars, man, can come up with some pretty good stories.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, I say we probably all met one a time or two in our life, myself included. But it was very interesting. But like my takeaway from because I've been wanting to watch the thing for 2 weeks and just hadn't gotten around to it. And this weekend I was like, all right, I'm gonna start first episode. and then I finished it up last night. I think it was Friday I watched the first episode, but dude, I came away from that, man, just feeling sorry for the dude because he's essentially let it define him. Like it's you can tell like he like physically he looks really good. Like he looks really good physically, like keeping himself in shape. Like has a nice cut, beard, and all this, and like just still looks like he's taking care of himself. He hasn't let himself go or anything like that since being out of the league. And I don't even know how long he's been out of the league now. But you can just listen to him. It's broken him. Like it's completely broken him. Like and it still bothers him. He was like an emotional wreck by the end of that thing. And you can tell the thing has just broken him. So I just came away from it feeling bad for the dude. And way that you can the only way the dude can come out of that is if he would just I know he clearly just wants it to go away, but it's never going to go away. Like you're
Yeah.
always going to be known for that. And yeah, he was great at Notre Dame. The one problem I had with it was one of the Deadspin guys who I guess broke the story. Yeah, one of the guys that broke the story, he said in the documentary, like didn't insinuate, he flat out said it that part of the reason he was there at the Heisman ceremony was because of sympathy from sports writers and stuff. And that was, and I'm sure that was a little bit of the case. Like that was involved a little bit, but he was one of the three best players in the country that year. He deserved to be there.
Yeah.
And I thought, and I even said going in, I thought he should have won the Heisman. In hindsight, it was the right thing to do to give it to Johnny Football. But yeah, that was the only thing that I thought was unfair about the documentary because Manti Te'o was one of the three best players in the country that year. He deserved to be there. He was a total flop in the NFL, but he was one of the best college football players in the country, and he got there by his play. So that was the only thing I was like, that's not entirely accurate. But it's worth checking out, man. If anything, just to if you want to see like I did the whole like that a few times watching it, especially when he's like, and I got the photo, and I'm like, what? I was like, is this dude just really good at Photoshop or what? And it's like it wasn't even Photoshop. The guy managed to get that girl to take that photo. And Renai was the person's name who is trans now. I don't remember. I don't know if she goes by anything else now, but anyway, yeah. So that's a whole other thing in itself. But yeah, it was a wild story, man. St- Sticking with football on a different note, college football too. Are you ever going to check out that documentary? By the way,
Yeah. Now I am. Yeah.
yeah. No, it was a. Well, I wanted to see it before then. I wanted to see it before that, but then I came away from it like, wow, there's way more to this than I thought. It was wild. But
Dude,
yes,
how many great jokes came out?
my favorite was the San Diego Tribune, I think it was cartoon, like that you sent to me, I believe, when it came out. Like when he got drafted, and him saying, "We're gonna love San Diego," or "You're gonna love San Diego, babe." And of course, he's got his arm around nothing. There's one, like minor league baseball team that had like a Manti Te'o's girlfriend night,
Oh, yeah.
bobblehead night, and there was nothing in the box. That's, there's some good stuff to come out of that. See, if he would just own that, like if he would just come out and own it and like laugh about it, and I mean just see it, like really own it, that would help a lot. But you can tell it still bothers him. I'm sure like he hates it when it comes up. And man, he's just gonna have to deal with it. He's gonna have to be like, yeah, man. I mean, they got me. Like they got me. I don't know what to say. Like, my bad. But come up with something better than that than what I just
Yeah.
said. But yeah, just own it is the point. But sticking with football, we got 11 games Saturday, so college football is back. sort of. It's 11 games this coming Saturday, but it's a bunch of those like week 1 games that nothing sticks out as a big time game. Nothing like the following Saturday, like the Saturday after this one where it's Notre Dame, Ohio State. Florida State was the most noteworthy team I saw, and they're playing some Duquesne or something. I don't even know. I don't even know how you say that. But like Florida State, UNC, Nebraska, those are the noteworthy games or teams playing. How much football are you going to watch Saturday?
I don't know, a couple hours worth probably. Depends on what time I go to the golf course.
Yeah, I was like, I'll turn it on just because people are football star. But if you're going to do
Yeah.
something, if you're going to have this schedule of games, then now's the time to do it because people are just starving for football and people will watch these type of matchups. So if you're going to have this kind of, these kind of games this Saturday, it's good to go ahead and push them out a week
Well,
early.
have a fantasy draft on Saturday, so I'm pretty sure we'll watch some during that. So
Yeah, I'm going to wait till if I join, I'll join a league. I don't know which league, but it would preferably be like right before the season starts.
yeah,
There's always like that one injury.
yeah. This one's a week earlier than it was the last two, I believe. But oh well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's organized with people then you kind of have to work around everybody's schedule, especially in this day and age. But that's your tip. If you're joining a public league, you're joining a public league, everybody just wait till the very last minute or as late as you can to join a league because there's always that one injury that's gonna screw somebody up. In
True.
other news, speaking of the number 11, Nick Saban got extended through February 2030, and his deal is worth $11.7 million per season. And there's like a clause where they can go back and like review just the salary, and if things change, within the landscape of college football, which they always do, salary is going to go up. He's eligible to get more money. So basically, they just made sure that Saban's still or goes back to being the highest paid coach in college football, which he should be. Um, Kirby Smart, his new deal was it was higher at the time. It was the highest in the game at that level at the time.
Yeah,
Kirby
we knew it
Smart,
wasn't going
yeah,
to last long.
yeah, it was a 10-year deal worth 11.2 million. He did that earlier this offseason, but you knew it wasn't going to last long. And like you said, before they up Saban's pay, and yeah, so Saban there through 2030. He will be at least through February 2030. So he will be 78 at the end of his contract. So yeah, I think he's done after that. Or is
I
he
hope
gonna
so.
right? If you're a yeah, if you're an SEC fan that isn't a fan of Alabama, then yeah, you certainly hope that. Who will they go after? They're gonna go after Dabo, right?
I'd figure.
That'll be the
That'd be
first
my
person they
guess.
call.
Yeah.
It seems pretty obvious to me. But we don't have to worry about that for another 8 years. So in sticking with SEC football, I've said sticking with a lot this episode. Try not to do
It's a
that.
pretty sticky episode.
I know, right? Might have to name it that. But a lot of people, I don't know if I'd call them experts, but a lot of people on TV have been pretty high on our Hogs this or coming into this season. I saw somebody predict them to go 10-2 in the league. Do you see them finishing that high? I know they're top 25 right now, and there are a lot of high hopes for them, but people aren't considering that Trey Burks is gone, their best player by far. Went to the NFL. KJ will be better, I'm sure, but who's he going to throw it to? I mean, he doesn't have a Trey Burks out there, so I don't
No.
know that I don't know if they're going to be. I don't see 10-2. I see them as like a eight. I see 8-4. That's my prediction, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see 9. 10. I hope we'd win 10, but yeah, I don't see it.
Now, are you including the bowl game? Because this is before the bowl game. This is 10-2 regular season is what they're predicting.
Oh, no, I think we'll win a bowl game wherever we go. So
But you're including that in the win total. That's what I'm asking you. We're not counting the bowl game. How many games do you see them winning?
9.
Okay, that's fair. But I think 8-4 is more realistic. Would you if you okay? Do you see them 10 wins or 8 wins? If you had to pick one,
8.
if you had okay, say if you had to lean one way or another, where are you going? And I would be good with that.
Oh, I'd be pumped.
I would be totally okay with 8-4. If
I wouldn't
Arkansas
be
could
like
just
backflipping, but I mean, I'd be pretty good.
yeah,
Still
if
be a pretty
Arkansas
fun season.
can if they can just get back to consistently being an 8-win team, I'm totally okay with that. But in other news, Kevin Durant worked it out with the Nets, it sounds like, or at least compromised. I can't remember what was the exact quote. We're going to move forward. They've agreed to move forward together because what else were they going to do? Uh, yeah, we're going to ship you to Phoenix for get nothing in return. We're going to do exactly what you want. We're going to placate to your needs. So, shocker, Kevin Durant stays in Brooklyn. Lastly, Baker Mayfield has been named the Week 1 starter for for the game against Cleveland against the Browns. So just for that, I'm glad Baker won the starting job. And of course, we would have both gone with Baker anyway, just because you know what you're going to get with Sam Darnold. And when Baker's healthy, he's shown that he can play at least not at an elite level, but slightly above average.
Yeah.
So, and if anything, this just makes for a great storyline in Week 1. And by the way, thoughts on Deshaun Watson's new punishment: 11 games, $5 million fine. I think he even has to seek like counseling, which that dude clearly needs some help. So, is that fair? I
I
think
think
it's fair. I would have
it's.
given him a season, but I can live with 11 games, $5 million
I could live
fine.
with 11 games, but I would have liked seeing more money.
Yeah, I think 10 million would have been fair,
Yeah.
but and missing the season, or just missing the season and 5 million, I'd have been good with that. But he got more than 6 games, which was a joke. So yeah, and of course he's coming back against the Texans, so I'm sure that was factored in a little bit there too. But yeah, Week 1 should be exciting for at least to see because it's Baker against his old team at Carolina, so that'll be storyline is at least going to be interesting. I don't know if the game will match up to the storyline. It probably won't. But yeah, I'll check it out. But we're out of time, folks. This concludes episode 43, Shoe Booty Sports. Next week, check us out. Episode 44, the Hank Aaron episode. Next